Hey guys, Clumsy here. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's been a week, and it's time to get back on the Hawk. I've been learning a few things about it, so hopefully we get on the air a little bit faster. But I really wanted to check out some new stuff today. We have finally seasons. I went ahead and dug in. I bit the bullet. I bought the 4 seasons mod because I couldn't wait anymore. I wanted to enjoy autumn in the sim, and before it's gone, might as well go all in. But before that, let's all greet everybody who is with us today. Thanks for joining, guys. Appreciate the company. Hopefully we don't crash. No promises. How's everybody doing? Scotsman, nice to see you trucking again. How's ATS treating you? Have you been to the new areas yet? Hey Moab, how are you doing? Hopefully not many of these tonight. What happened? Was it the controller turning off again? Sorry about that. Maybe I should just turn off that sound, huh? Yeah, maybe. Hey Mechanical, how are things? What have you been flying recently? Glad to see you here, man. And yes, thank you for joining. I know for some of you, for those in Europe specifically, you've gotten a few changes. The stream is 1 hour earlier now, right? For US folks, probably still the same time, but next week it will be 1 hour earlier for you as well. And I do have an announcement later. Maybe I'll give a teaser. There will be no Clumsy Trucking usual stream on Friday, unfortunately. ... There will be a continuation to that news later on. Yes, it's confirmed. Yar Jack, managed to catch any more fish? That's a pretty nice game actually. Nice to watch, because I don't know anything about it, but it's relaxing. Very nice, thanks for streaming. Hey Patrick, how are the bits doing? Thanks for joining, man. Tom, no worries, lurk away, enjoy the stream on full screen TV. The face palm. Oh. That's a face palm emote. Oh yeah, that's a cheap face palming. I just realized it. I see. Thanks. Extra Red Bull Air Race style. Oh my goodness, some aerodynamics, huh? Yeah, I'll have to learn about that bit by bit. But yes, today we'll be on the Hawk. We'll see if we can explore more about it. And I do want to get back on Sky Park here. You guys might be familiar with Sky Park, right? It's a pretty nice, best looking app out there. It gives you a purpose for flying. And when you're running out of ideas where you want to fly, Sky Park can be a very good tool for it. So for today, we'll be flying in Norway. We'll start off in Norway, at least in Oslo. And then we'll make our way southeast. I found a job that takes COVID vaccines from Norway to Sweden. Sounds like a pretty nice cause. So I took that job, and it's waiting for us to load into, how do you read this? Gardermoen. Gardermoen, maybe. Something like that. Oslo. Let's stick there, and that's the route. It's a very short one, just to warm us up a bit. 148 miles. This will give us a purpose to flying the Hawk. Maybe get some vaccines as soon as possible. Use the speed, right? Shouldn't be that heavy. Let's imagine there's like a cooler at the back seat strapped in. We can roleplay that. And then we can hide this. Double clicking. Very nice, fancy app here. But I'll use it. I'll put it on my other monitor. And let's load it in. Hey, LL, how's it been? Thanks for joining, man. 1 hour earlier for you as well, I think, right? You purchased Sky Park recently. Nice. How's it treating you so far? So let's go and plug that in. November Golf Mike to Sierra Golf Papa. How do you read that, guys? Any Swedish folks in here? Is that Sove? I think the A with an accent, that always gets me. The different accents are read completely differently. Okay, get some light in there. Oh, that's interesting. That's actually very nice. Wow. You don't see it in the screen. Let me show you. if I pin this, so Sky Park is actually connected to the sim now. So when I change the time of the sim, look at that. It turns from like night mode to the normal mode depending on the time in the sim. That's pretty nice. Yeah, it just shows you how much attention to detail this Sky Park app has when it comes to user experience, right? Good. Okay, let's zoom in. Let's give this a bit more reasonable timing. Maybe let's start 8 a.m. That's that current time here in Singapore as I'm streaming. Now the weather doesn't seem to be the best, but I think we can still manage. Winds, I think we could probably spawn in somewhere here. Fuel box. We can probably spawn in somewhere nearby that won't trigger the fuel box. There you go. That should work. The Hawkeye one from Just Flight. Guys, okay with that livery? You want a little bit simpler? Maybe let's go for a bit simpler colors today. Not too flashy. Yeah, that might work. Saudi Air Force, Finnish Air Force. That looks good. Let's go with that. Still want this Hawk, but have not wanted to part with the money it's worth. Well, let's see. Let's see if maybe you can explore it today, and maybe that can convince you or not. Either way, I hope we'll have a nice time. All right, so we'll have 100. Let's go full tanks. Yeah, 5,000 kilos. Max takeoff weight is 5.7 tons, 5,700 kilos. Max landing weight I think is 5 tons. So that should be okay. This jet, as you guys can imagine, chugs fuel. So that will be gone in no time, even if we have full loads on fuel. Let's go solo here, and we can probably put in some kind of weight in here. I'm not sure how heavy the vaccines could be. Maybe 50 kilos? Does that work like that, maybe? Yeah, just something like that. Just to simulate it a bit. Alright, okay. That looks good. Let's see. We have not live time. 8 a.m. live weather. Okay, looks good. Let's load it up. How much is Sky Park? How much is it now? Was it around 30 to 40 USD last time I remembered? No, it's a one-time thing. Yeah, one-time payment. Yeah. Can be tricked after takeoff. Yeah, you can cheat it if you really want to. But do you really want to? There we go. Thank you. 42 USD. 31. Okay. Crop circles and corn mazes. Oh, I haven't seen that. That's pretty interesting. So that was actually captured by their satellite images, huh? Cool. So yes, guys, we're starting off in Norway here, and I want to make our way south because I want to see. So we have the 4 seasons mod. I want to talk about that in more detail, and I want to explore it myself because I haven't done so. So the 4 seasons mod, it's a third-party mod. Okay, it's not officially part of the sim. And it's done by, what's his name? Bijan Habashi? I forget. Let's go and load up the mods list. Still a bit dark, isn't it? And I like those colors. Yay. Firefox got an update at the not best timing. Bijan Habashi indeed. 4 season pack. So this is what we're trying out today. Maybe with better lighting, hopefully with better weather. We will see. Okay, reset that. Maybe let's give it a bit maybe a bit brighter skies. Yeah, not the best weather, is it? We do have some nice trees there. Yeah, Let's see if we'll have to change the weather in a bit. But I'd like to stick to live weather if possible. Cool. Let's go ahead and remove that. So we remove the lag. And yes, this mod, 4 seasons, as it implies, adds a lot of variety to the landscape because it changes the trees depending on the season. So it's a bit manual. It doesn't change automatically based on the time or date you pick in the sim. You have to activate it outside the sim as a mod, like enable fall or autumn colors, enable winter colors, things like that. And then you load it into the sim, then that's how it looks like. So it's a bit manual, but it's nothing different from like the seasons mod we have in Truck Sim, right? You enable Grimes early autumn mod, and then everything looks autumn. So that's basically how it is. But the additional advantage is because Microsoft Flight Simulator covers the entire world, it actually changes. It's not like autumn everywhere, right? It's going to be like, if it's autumn in the northern hemisphere, it's going to be spring in the southern hemisphere, something like that. So it's consistent. So if you travel all the way from north to south hemisphere, you'll see the trees change. And even I think if you're in the higher latitudes, and then you go near the equator, then we should see that the trees, starting from like full autumn vibes, yellow, orange trees, starting to go green, starting to get less autumny as we get to the center. So we'll see if that works, if that's really how it is, and if you can notice some more intricacies on it. Right. Also, there was a new update just yesterday. Recently, they added like terrain masks, they call them. Because if you change the trees, make them yellow, them brown, but if the ground still looks green, it looks kind of off, right? So now there is this addition that the ground as well looks a bit more yellow and brown, so that it blends better with the trees. That's the idea, at least. ONOPS. Nice. Great to hear, Tom. There is no fixed date. It depends on my mood. But there should be some episodes throughout the week at least. Yeah, that's the best I can promise. Okay, let's see. So, the sim, the Sky Park now detects that we are here, so we can begin it.
Hello, pilot. It's Brian with Clear Sky. We received a special call to action for help delivering some precious cargo. These contracts are for the distribution of COVID-19 vaccines worldwide. You will depart from some of the most popular international airports in the world and fly out to smaller regional ones. Fly safe, and thanks for taking the contract. Let's roll.
So if you want like some kind of like role-playing app, this would be one of the best out there. Especially if you don't want the management side of things. If you want the management side of things, like maintaining your planes, creating fixed routes, building an actual like company, then this is not for you. But if you just want to fly, this might be the perfect one. Let's load up the vaccines here. There's now also a new thing. You get charged $250 a day, I think, to hire some of the cargo loaders, and you hear that the vaccines being loaded at the back there. Some more immersion, some more new events now. That looks good. All right. So now there are expenses involved in this in having this kind of flight. It's not only all profit. There are expenses being introduced as well. All right, that looks pretty straightforward. I think from there we just fly it. Good. So we'll see. And now it's time to greet our friend the Hawk here. Let's go outside for a bit. Let me turn on the controller. That's me. The seasons mod, how to set up. I'm not sure if I can show it. There's not much to set up. It's basically, if you can imagine, you will download a zip file, right? You'll download the zip file, and this will contain folders. If you're using, and basically you put the folder depending on what kind of seasons you want. There will be a folder which says fall in the north hemisphere and then spring in the south hemisphere. So if you want that, then that's the folder you drag onto your community folder, right? And that will activate it. So it's there's a specific instruction as well in the zip file. So it's just drag and drop basically, just picking the right folder for the kind of colors you want. But it doesn't involve anything fancy like modifying files or whatnot. It's just choosing which folder to drag and drop. And even better is if you're using an add-on linker, right? The MSFS add-ons linker. For me, I'm using that. So I just placed all the folders in my mod folder, and then I just activate which specific season I want. We'll have to see today. I haven't flown it a lot, but I am enjoying the additional colors for sure. So we'll see if that's something that we can all notice. All right, but let's start up the Hawk first. Let's go ahead and start from the beginning. This should be much faster now. I'm a bit more familiar with the steps here. So we'll see. Landing gear selector is down. Battery switches are off. Now all these, at the end of the day, the Hawk, the systems are very similar to other planes, I would say. The basics at least. It has a transponder, has a radio, has like an engine switch, right? But it's just confusing because it has so many different terms because it's more like military oriented, if I would say so. And there are some weapons as well. But the weapons I don't really have loaded anyway. So these guys, MCP I think is missile control panel or weapons control panel. So these guys, ISIS sites, all these are for weapons, and we don't have that. So we can basically ignore that. And then the stick top is I think just this one, right? The cover, like the safety. Yeah. So all these we can ignore, and then instead we can just jump into the oxygen. Oxygen is fuel there. So that looks good right there. Hey Larry. Yes. Finnish Air Force livery just for the looks. We are flying near Finland a bit. Not quite. But close enough, I guess. Are you from Finland by any chance? That's why you notice. Alright, cover down. Anti-skid switch is on. Standby UHF switch is in main. Landing gear selector is down, and push the red thing in. So that would delegate the landing gear settings options to the front, the controls. Same with the flap selector. Make sure that this is in pupil. And WMP, that's the for weapons, so we ignore that. Lighting switches are off here, yes, and oxygen, let's also turn on here. Even though there will be nobody here, just the vaccines on the back seat. Okay, and that's that side already. Looking good. Alright, so let's turn off the rudder lock here. Let's go and check our rudder. Yeah, they're working now, they're moving because we removed the lock. We can go ahead and turn on the batteries. So we turn on battery 1 first. Now we hear the warning. We see 23 volts there. That's in the green. That looks good. Turn it off. Try battery 2. Same thing. We have the right voltage. Looks good. Now we can turn on both batteries, and that looks okay. Turn on the nav lights as well. CCS amplifier switches. I believe that's this red one here. Yes, it's on the right side. That looks okay. Parking brake is on. Chocks, flags and covers, steps, all removed. There we go. So that looks good right there. Looked familiar. Oh, nice. All right. Good catch. LP cock is on. Engine start switch is off. Fuel pump switch is on. Pitot heat is off. Tailplane standby trim cover down. Ignition switch is normal. That's that switch there. Throttle HP off. Anti-skid switch is off. We'll turn it on later. Standby UHF is in main. Brake gauges check pressures. That's these guys right here. So if I step on the toe brakes, you can see the pressures changing. So they're all good. Left instrument panel. Now this is very finicky knob. Don't touch it. Standby handle. I'm imagining that's for the gear extension. If it doesn't work, if it wouldn't extend, then you can pull that so that it would lower, but you can't trace it again. Same would be for the flaps, is how I understand it. Landing gear indicator is 3 greens. That's good. Flap selector is up. Yes. Flap indicator is up as well. UHF radio we don't need. Weapon select, yeah, that's not applicable. Pylon, WCP, all those are for weapons, so we can skip those. Does anyone know what the DJI is for? This is the DJI, but I haven't really found a use for it. To me, it's somehow similar to the HSI in terms of purpose, so I'm not sure if I really need it. But anyway, okay, let's go through the motions here. Flag retracted, yes. Accelerometer, let's reset that here. That measures the G-forces, negative and positive as we fly. Alright, main attitude still has the flag. HSI still has the flag. That means it's not receiving a proper signal. It's not working. AHRS control unit, let's put that on slave over here. Alright. ISIS control unit, I'm not sure I have that. ILS marker light, let's test it. It is working. UHF power switch is off. Now that one I couldn't find for some reason. I mean, it might be this one. UHF normal or bad, but I'm not sure what off means. Anyway, main altimeter flag is showing. Standby doesn't have the flag. Okay, standby instrument switch is normal. Okay, looking good there. Let's move here. Oxygen caption is out. Okay, it's not lighting up. Contents are more than half. Yes, it's actually full. Fuel is also full. Almost. Rotation is black. GTS is black. CWP will test the warning panel to see if all lights can light up. Yes, it does. Let's acknowledge the warning there. That looks good. And lighting switches, yes, we'll need a bit of lighting. So let's turn on the panel lights and let's go ahead and get some ambiance in here. There we go. Beautiful lighting right there. Just very subtle. Alright, good. Alright, next is on the right side in here. Is that push to talk? Okay, let's put normal. VHF, let's turn that on. I believe I have to do this and then this one. There we go. And then IFF SSR is like the squawk. So let's put that on standby. Okay, TACAN, put that on transmit and receive. We'll see if we can tune into a VOR later, or a TACAN itself. ILS, let's turn that on as well. And then the cabin air temp switch, let's put that to normal. And as we do that, we'll hear the air conditioning start itself. You hear it, the air? I love the sounds in this plane. It's so ASMR-ish. And my favorite sound out of all, interestingly enough, is when you close the canopy. Hear the sounds, guys. When we close it. Those sounds. When it shuts in and then you lock it. Oh, and it's all on your left ear. It's so good. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, good. Alright, let's turn on the engine start switches and put the anti-collision lights to red. Let's check outside. It is indeed in red. Nice. Starting, so let's press this button right here near the throttle. That would start the GTS gas turbine starting system or something, right? The equivalent to the APU to help start the engine later on. Let's go ahead and look outside while that's happening. You can hear it a bit better. It is a bit framey in here. I think it's the CPU that's struggling. Hopefully it gets better later. We have the GTS lighting up right there, that green indicator, so that works. And so now we can turn on you can start the engine. So the starter here, put that in start. You should get a rotation going green. RPM should be rising. We hear the engine spooling up. At around 15 to 20% RPM, we can go ahead and introduce fuel like so. And we'll monitor the temperatures. Make sure that it's not going beyond what temperature? I don't know, around 600 maybe. But yeah, just the level of detail on the sounds and everything is just This is why I like starting planes cold and dark, because you get that full experience. And you really become like part of the plane, you know, it's you took care of it. You're the one responsible for getting it to where it's at. It wasn't just given to you. You're the one who worked hard to start it up and everything. So I really like that part. And now you can see the flags disappeared. So we now have the attitude indicator, the HSI, that's working now. It's slave to the, I don't know, to the gyro maybe, to the magnetic compass or something along those lines. Okay, looks good. It is a bit loud. We will see later. We will tone down the sounds later. Maybe now is a good time. There, just a bit. Right, so we confirmed that the GTS and rotation indicators are now black. Fire caption is out. That's good. RPM is 50% or greater. Yes, it's above 50%. CWP, only the hydraulics 2 and skid warnings remain. That's a good sign. And now it's time to test our flight controls. One thing we noticed in the previous stream, such nice attention to detail, is when you move the controls like this, you can actually see the hydraulic systems starting to lose pressure as you work your controls, and as you let go, it charges back up, right? So that looks good. We can reset hydraulics 2. That should increase the bar here, and later on, as that pressure builds up, the hydraulics 2 warning here should disappear. There you go. Okay, good. All right, so, and then all off except skid. Yes, indeed, skid. Anti-skid we will turn on right before we do our takeoff. Okay, looks good right there. I really love this online checklist here. It's very friendly for streaming, so you guys can see what I'm doing and what I'm checking. Yeah, the trims are all in neutral. You can see here the rudder, aileron all in the middle, and the stabilizer over here, that's 0. Yes, so all of them are in the center. Air brake, we are testing it. So I realized, I learned here we have an air brake test switch which we have to turn on, because normally when you just press the air brake switch, that's this one right here, if you put the air brakes out like so, nothing happens. You see, the air brake doesn't light up. It doesn't deploy outside either, because normally on the ground it would be disabled. There would be no point in using the air brakes on the ground. So when you want to test it, just for the sake of testing if it works, you have a switch here which overrides that safety. You can think of it that way, so that when you do switch it out like so, you'll see that it does deploy now, and you'll see that it does work right like so. Right, there's the air brake right there. So if you remove it, that's the one that is moving, right? So that's for testing exactly as the switch indicates. So now you turn it off, and that works. It kind of makes sense, all of these steps. Right, with that we can turn on the pitot heat as well. Flap selector, let's go to mid. There you go. Hydraulic gauges, let's go and check the pressures. Those hydraulic systems 1 and 2, all good. Test and set altimeters. Now this is something I still haven't learned, why we set the QFE instead of the QNH. But maybe that's more of like a military procedure. QFE, from what I know, is with regard to field elevation. So we basically set this to 0 when we're sitting on the airport here. On the ground, this should say 0. But I'm more familiar with setting it to QNH, so I don't know, I'll probably adjust it later. So we'll do the same thing here. 976. Very low pressure today, huh? Yeah, might not be the best for visual flights. We might have to change the weather later. But we'll see, we'll try it first. It's a nice feeling breaking out of the clouds. Good. Alright, warning flags, all clear. No more flags on the instruments. Attitude, yes, it's erect, no flag. Compass, let's go and sync it again. It's for good measure. There you go. Yeah, DGI is what I'm not sure what it does. navigation instruments, and we don't really have anything to tune into. Maybe we should set something, huh? And then ISIS. Okay, let's untick that. Let's go ahead and tune something. I really like this system, and I learned this from the last stream. Remember, we were tuning into a Takan. It was like a 2-digit thing with an X, so we were tuning it right, but I was not able to get the bearing. I was able to see how far away it was from me, but I was not able to see where it was in relation to where I am, like which direction to go to. And apparently that's a limitation in the current sim. Microsoft Flight Simulator doesn't support Takans yet fully. So it can detect how far you are away, but it will not give you a bearing. So you can't use it like a VOR. So I think it's best we just avoid it as much as possible right now and stick to VORs instead if you can. Right, so here's the little nav map. That's where we are. That's a VOR we can tune into 115.905. Is there anything else in the vicinity? There is one here. Yeah, I guess we could do that. This guy. It's a Takan actually. Yeah. You can see 82X. So that's 82 channel X. But we won't be able to see the bearing. So should we use it? This one I'd like, but this is low setting. Okay, we can start with this one. VOR DME at this airport, 115.905, because I like this part of the Takan. Apparently there is like a conversion for the Takan number, because if you look at the thing you can maintain, you can only maintain numbers here, right? So how do you translate that into a VOR frequency if you want to tune in 115.905? There's actually a conversion for it, and the manual has it. You can also Google it, but it's in the manual, so let me show you. The Hawk T1 manual. If you go to communication systems, I believe. Communication system, there's a Takan setting in here. Okay, you can see my screen. Yeah, that should work. There we go. So you can see, like traditional VOR DME, obtain range and bearing information. Okay. And basically what we want is to look for that frequency that we want to tune into. That's 115.905. So if we look for that here, 115.905 is this guy. That means we need to tune in Takan channel 106 and in the Yankee mode, right? So if we try that out, so let's tune in 106 and channel Y, channel Yankee. That should correspond to the VOR 115.905. If you have the tooltips on, it will also show you that that's the VOR it's trying to tune into. But I don't like the tooltips. It kind of breaks immersion for me, so I turned it off. Okay. So anyway, so that should allow us to detect. Is it there already? Takan. It is detecting it already. See? So if you don't tune into anything, the nav flag will be there. If you have Takan enabled here, we're 0 miles because we are right on the VOR almost. So we can actually say that the VOR is that way, less than a mile away. Makes sense. Cool. So that works. That conversion works. Awesome. Nice. Okay. And then do we need to set a transponder? Not really. Let's just keep it default like so. I think we're good there. ILS, there is no ILS on the airport that we're going to. Okay, so I think we're good for now with that one. Good. Taxiing. Taxi area is clear-ish except for this guy. Let's go ahead and release the parking brake. And let's go ahead and check a bit. I do notice that this plane requires a bit of throttle to move forward on the ground. There we go. Let's go ahead and test the brakes first. Brakes are working. Good. Alright. So these three are good. Flight instrumentation and avionics. 1 second, where is our thing? Okay, is 01 left. Okay, we are actually pretty close. There's the runway right there. We're taking off from airport. It's 012 would be the runway heading. So 012, something like that. Taxiing feels good on the plane. Sorry for the stutters, guys. I'm not sure why it's lagging very bad. Maybe it's this airport looks pretty busy. It is a big airport, and my goodness, those are some big clouds. I think if you want to focus on the trees today, it might be better if you actually choose something that's a bit more friendly. Let's go for something like this for now, just so we can focus on the trees and the scenery, right? That means we'll have to set the QFE again. Second. Is that going negative? 1 second, huh? There you go. Just press the B key. Hey, so friend. Good side of sleepless nights is catching a stream. Glad you made it, man. Welcome. Alright. So 660, that means the airport elevation is 660? Yes, 681 based on the chart. Okay, let's leave it there for now. I think I'm happy with that. Looking good. Let's go ahead and check the checklist. GG, man, thanks for the resub. 5 months. Goodness. How are things on your end? Right, trims are neutral. We checked that already. Pitot heat, yes. Anti-skid, that's where we turn this on, and that will remove the last warning on the warning panel right there. Fuel gauge, all good. Flap selector is in mid. Landing light, let's turn that on. There you go, pretty strong landing light. Anti-collision lights can go white now as we take off. That will serve as our strobes. Okay, CWP captions all off. Yes, no warnings. Takeoff briefing. Taking off from runway 01. And then we will do a we will turn right to the south and explore the scenery. Yes. That's as much of a briefing that I can give. Runway looks clear. You can actually see some of the trees already that are yellow, but not everything, which is great because some of them are evergreen trees, right? So the pine trees remain green. So it's not, what I like about this mod is it doesn't just paint everything yellow. There is really a focus on the accuracy, even to the type of trees in each of the continents. So the colors as well are pretty accurate. If it's evergreen, it wouldn't turn yellow. So that level of accuracy is there at least. And well, I hope we can see that more as we progress here, as we explore the area. Looking good. Okay. Looks good right there. Max 104%. Let's hold the brakes here and spool up. Time flies indeed. Busy with moving and all the working. Ah. Yeah, man. Looking forward to it. Thank you. Yes. Glad you managed to make it. RPM climbing up. Takeoff power is set. Alright. That's my controller. Turning off at the most inopportune time. At 90 knots we will rotate. There we go. Pull up more. There we go. Bit fidgety. The winds are not the kindest. Gears going up. Flaps going up. And with that, let's just immediately slow down here. Because from here, you can already see the different kinds of trees, right? Not everything is yellow, but you can definitely see a difference. It's a lot more varied. Let's go ahead and turn right. Head southbound. Sorry, I'm trying to read your name. AJ Wang, how are things? We are starting off in Norway, making our way to Sweden on this very short flight, 180 miles ish, and just trying to explore the scenery outside. Is it a bit loud, guys? Let's lower the volume a bit. There you go. Trying to admire a bit of the fall trees here. Look at those trees, guys. Yeah. And now the recent addition from this mod is now you can see the fields when there are no trees. They're not green anymore. They're also a bit yellowish, right? Brownish. So that it fits very well with the setting, with the color of the trees. We can also try and go up and see if this is something that we can see from afar. As it is right now, my goodness, that is looking great. Okay, maybe let's trim it out here. Stay at 3,000 feet. Yeah, it's autumn right now. What I set is autumn in the northern hemisphere, and if we go to the southern hemisphere, it will be spring, I believe. Traveling at 350 knots. Oh my goodness. And I'm only just like half throttle. My throttle is only halfway. It's amazing how fast this plane is. Doing good, man, doing good. Let's look outside, guys. Hopefully it won't get that loud. The sounds of this plane. Yeah, the masking is perfect. It really does look like autumn. And then you can see some of the trees are yellow, but not everything. Let's see if you notice a change as we go down south more. Looks like I'm climbing a bit ahead as well. But yes, this plane in itself, I'm not doing it quite enough justice yet. I'm basically flying it like a GA. I haven't done any aerobatics or anything. I don't think I'm qualified. We can try some. But yeah, what I learned is this plane is very nice in such a way that the controls, like the first 1/3 of the flight controls, if you stay within the center and 1/3 of the center area of the stick, it behaves like a GA plane. The next 1/3 makes it behave with the aerobatics, so more abrupt movements, right? And then the last third will be for combat, the most aggressive components. But right now I'm basically treating this as a GA plane, so you can see our G-forces here are staying within very, very acceptable, even less than 2. I think in terms of the G-forces, both positive and negative. Hey, agility. Happy lurking. Enjoy. Let me have a look at Skypad in here to see where I am going. We're going up again. I want to stay at 3,000 feet just so we can have a bit more better visibility of the trees, the landscape below. Also, my LOD setting is at 200. I haven't been brave enough to take it to 500 to 400, the new maximum. Let's see. Okay, track should be around this way, I think. Let's put it that way. What track route should we follow? Let's put it around 170. Going all over the place, right? Something like that. Right, let's fly this a bit better, a bit more responsibly. Not going all over the place. One side effect I noticed with this masking is you can actually see some of the pop-ins. If you look hard enough, a while ago I saw some of them, because the Four Seasons mod puts a layer of color on the ground to make it look autumny. You can actually see those tiles popping in sometimes, so let's keep a close eye on it, see if that's something we can notice. He did improve that already with a recent update yesterday, but I think I still saw something in there. My goodness, that looks amazing. Flying this fast feels so weird. No complaints though. It's quite nice. Stay at 3,000 feet here. Trim it out. It's a very sensitive plane. Kind of reminds me of flying a helicopter in a way because of how sensitive the stick is. Still not used to it. It's so sensitive and you barely need to do any adjustments on the stick. Okay, there we go. We're now outside the range of the VOR that we tuned in a while ago. My goodness, we'll be at the destination in no time. Look at how yellow those trees are. Alright. Cool. Still climbing here, still climbing. Everything else looks good. Maybe we can turn off the landing lights now. Let's go through the checklist, see if I missed anything. Yeah, landing gear and flaps are up. Fuel gauge, let's go continue checking on that. Attitude, yes, compass, radios, altimeter, demist. Oh, there's actually a demisting feature in here which I haven't seen yet. I think it's somewhere here maybe. I'll have to look for it. That will help if we get some icing maybe. At least so we can still have visibility. I don't think this plane has anti-ice, but it has at least a demisting so you can see outside. Okay, good. There. The airport we're going to doesn't have a VOR, so I'm basically using SkyPad to navigate here. It's looking pretty good so far. Oh, one thing I wanted to show you guys, something I haven't explored yet, is you can actually have fancy colored smoke. So when you're doing aerobatics, you can actually do some fancy stuff. I'll show you in a bit, 1 second. Let me just trim the plane properly here, so it's a bit fidgety. There you go, trimming it out. Beautiful. So if you turn on the smoke control here, and then I think one of these, depends on the kind of smoke you want, it would actually spit out that color. So if you put out like this one right here and look outside, you actually have white smoke coming out. And if I switch that to the blue one, it's like that. So it's like for air show material, right? And if we're doing maneuvers, And then the smoke will actually follow. It's pretty fancy stuff. I don't do it justice quite yet. Maybe later on we can explore it, but for now, let's leave it be. Can we go closer to the trees, maybe? Let's try and descend even lower. Just pulling back on the throttle here. Gliding along. Getting closer and closer to the airport. How low can we go? How low do the jets normally fly? There we go. We're getting more definition on the trees now as we get closer. Look at how yellow those are. Oh, that is beautiful. My goodness. Okay, I think that looks good. There we go. Feels so weird flying this fast, this low. Something I have to get used to on this plane, I guess. See all the trees in front of us. The thing is, with this faster plane, more sceneries need to load faster as well. So I think that contributes to the less FPS we're getting. Because constantly it's loading and reloading and unloading trees. Because we're traveling at 450 knots here. Indicated airspeed. Oh my goodness. How much is the top speed? Actually, I'm not sure. And I don't want to... because I tried it. I tried to go full throttle this low, but the engine overheats, which I think is very realistic because we're down on the ground, right? It's a lot hotter than when you're up in the flight levels. So it actually is... you can't go full throttle this low. Otherwise the engine will get too hot. And you'll get all the warnings. We can try it, I'll show you. If I go full throttle right now... Wait till the warning. Look at the temperature, guys. The TGT. There it is. Right? So pull back. It's not cold enough. But I like that level of simulation. Like, it's not just like an arcade game where you go full throttle and just fly like a beast. I also tried one time doing aerobatics, so I yanked the stick fully up to do that kind of loop. I got a black screen saying that I overstressed the plane, which might not be a thing you should be doing. Let's go and get a bit closer here. But yeah, the Seasons mod, I'm really liking it. It's a bit pricey. I think it was around 30 euros more or less. But with how much it's adding, how much variety it adds, it's not only the autumn trees. There are also some other specific trees. What I like about it is it actually looks at each of the regions, what kind of trees you should have, and even add some custom trees, 3D trees. Like, I don't know, baobab trees, specific ones, Joshua trees, or some trees I don't even know the name of. And it adds them based on the location. He has like a map to show what kind of trees are in which region. Like palm trees in tropical countries, things like that. So it's more than just the colors, it's the trees themselves are changing. And he makes the bushes, the shrubs, the trees larger or smaller, depending on how they should be realistically. So it gives that additional level of realism. Especially if you're familiar with how things should look in your region, then it makes a lot of sense. Look at that cliff right there, it's beautiful. That's the G blackout, like in the Reno racing. Maybe, but I can't recover from it. It's like, it's game over, it's like your plane crashed. Is that normal? Is that a bridge? Something right there below, like a tower maybe. Maybe that's from the We Love VFR mod. I think we should start slowing down here because the airport is coming up. And this is something I haven't gotten used to yet. The landing part feels so strange to me. Because it feels like I'm too nose up oftentimes. Maybe that means I'm not applying enough power. Let's slow down here. Just going to stay at idle. Maybe let's pull out the air brakes. Oh, I can really feel it slowing down. Goodness. Maybe slow down to 200 knots. Trimming it. I'm looking at Sky Park here. It's actually very smart. You know how it is in GTA? Like your minimap zooms out or zooms in depending on your speed. Sky Park is actually doing that as we're slowing down like this. It's actually doing the same, zooming into the map. So I see more details as we slow down. Okay, looks good. Stay at 1,000 feet. Maybe 200 knots is okay for now. Slow it down. Oh. Let's look outside again. Not bad at all. Oh my goodness. Runway 19 should be up ahead. What's the weather looking like here? I'll put that in the left. Goodness, just like that, we've traveled 180 miles. I'm not sure what the weather is. But we should start slowing down nonetheless. Maybe deploying our flaps. Okay, 2,000 feet looks pretty reasonable. The airport should be at our 2 o'clock-ish. Okay, pull back on the power. Is that the airport? Not quite. Where is it? Should be on the left side. Maybe 1 o'clock. There we go. What's the safe extension for the flaps and the landing gear? I guess around 160, 180 knots. Let's see if that will deploy now. It does, so it's okay. Let's also get the flaps out. And let's get some power in. Let's maintain this altitude. Actually, we're not that near yet. I just realized. Might be too premature. Let's go ahead and stay here first. So I'm looking at it. Looks like we're still 26 miles away. Yeah, let's maybe do that when we're around 10 miles. Or 5 even. There's a point of interest there. Interesting. I wonder what that is. Maybe the bridge. Yeah. We'll see. You know what? That might be nice. Let's go fly over that thing first and then let's just loop back. If we shoot past the airport. There, whatever that one is. Kattegat. Is this the sea? Or river? I see in Sky Park it says Kattegat here in this body of water. Looks like interesting. Isn't that the? I hear that term in like the, what's that series? The Last Kingdom. Where is the airport? Could be here now. There's the bridge. Dorn Bridge. Fly under it? Probably not. It doesn't look like it's one of those I don't want to risk a black screen. We'll just fly over it probably. Looks good right there. With floating cars, of course. That's part of the package. So where is that airport? 16 miles. Okay, we're getting there. And how would we see? What would be the... Let's see if we can tune in. Maybe there is like an ATIS or something. Wattenberg approach. Echo Sierra Golf Papa. It's only the tower. Yeah. Well, we can try it out. Let's see what they'll give us. Nice. Runway 19er.
Runway 19er, British Aerospace, tree 46.
Looking good. Should see the airport here. Not the best in terms of time of day, because it's the sun is just against us the entire time. We'll see. Maybe in the next flight it will be better. Maybe we can head southwest so we're not facing the sun the entire time. Nine miles. Starting to slow down finally. Goodness. This plane has a really hard time slowing down. And this is where I struggle often. The approach part is something I don't get. It's either I'm applying too much power or too little. Something like that. Okay, let's try that way. Landing gear and flaps. Let's turn on the landing lights as well. Nice.
Cleared to land runway 19er, British Aerospace, tree 46.
Good. What I find is I have to trim up a ton. Maybe that's because I just need to apply more power, I think. There is an ILS marker. Interesting. I don't see it in Little Nav map. Oh, there's the runway. Okay, I see it. I have visual on the runway. A bit high. But we can adjust. Now autumn is in full effect, guys. Look at those trees. Oh my goodness. 1 second. Focus on the landing first. Okay. There we go. This might be a nice approach speed. You saw that? You saw the tiles loading in, the pop in? Yeah, it does have a pop in there. This is what I don't get, how much power I should be applying. So it feels like I'm almost at full throttle here. I'm also pitching up insane. I don't get it. I don't get it. Let's do that one more time. I'm not happy with it. Let's go around. Go around. Oi! Report go around. Okay, maybe not. Let's try that again. Maybe if we turn this way. There's the airport. Okay, downwind leg. Let's try that again. I'm still not getting something. Maybe let's get a bit more space so I have enough time to adjust. This plane really wants to fly. So I have to pull back the throttle all the way to slow down below 200 knots. There you go. There you go. Okay, let's see how that works. They say if you set it up correctly, this should be a very stable plane. But I'm not stable at all. I have to have my stick pulled up too much. That must mean I'm not doing something right. Let's see, if I let go of the stick, look at how steep that guy is going. I have to really pull up. And if I give it more power, maybe that's what's needed. Or trim it up intensely. It's too much already. Okay, let's see. Okay, that one we're a bit more stable, but I still can't let go of the stick. If I let go, that's how we'll be facing. It's why is that? And I can't trim up anymore. Maybe that's the way it is when you're in the landing, when you have your flaps set. Hey Craig, Yeah, I'm trimming it max, but it doesn't seem like it's working. Unless my key isn't working at all. Okay, let's try it one more time. Actually, don't have sight of the airport anymore. Do I have the key correctly that this is for trim? Maybe it's my key that's not working. I'll try that one more time. Hey PDX, how's it going, man? Okay, let's try it again. Where is the airport? Have I gone that far away from it? I think I have. Yeah, maybe trim is different. I'm still getting the hang of it. So if I trim fully up... Oh, that's working. Yeah, that's working, that trim. I feel it working like so. Okay, there's the airport, I think. That's the one. Okay. Let's see if I can trim it properly. A bit more stable. Okay. Let's go full flaps here. See the airport in front. There's the ILS marker. Yeah, I think now it's working. Yeah, now it's a bit better. Maybe at some point, maybe there is some range where the trim doesn't work. There it is. Now that's trimming. I think it's mainly trimming if I leave the stick in the center. Interesting. Okay. Looks more like it. Land with only one flap. Oh yeah, maybe, huh? Yeah, maybe I don't need to go full flaps every time. Bit high, bit slow. Bit low. There, that's more like it. That's trimmed. That's more trimmed. Good. That's the approach I would like. But now we're off. Now I think it's too high up. Let's catch up. Come on, catch up. There it is. That's a bit more stable. Way too late in the landing, but I'll take it. Stay in the center, please. Stay in the center. Thank you. Get some brakes in. There we go. Sure thing. Let's exit to the right here. I'll take it. Ah, there's a trick to that trim, which I have not been getting yet so far.
Going to 119.055 British Aerospace 346. Safe ground, British Aerospace Hotel Whiskey.
Good.
346 taxi to parking. British Aerospace Hotel Whiskey. 346 taxi to General Aviation.
Hey Skipper.
Using taxiway Alpha Bravo.
1 second, I'll get back to you. much drag, full flaps. It might be. Yeah, you might be right. Let's go and extend the flaps.
346 acknowledge last transmission. Taxiing to General Aviation Parking.
Max
using
trim.
Taxiway Alpha Bravo British Aerospace 346.
Right, let's try that. Let's try that. That's a good test. The airspeed is this one here. This knob. This knob. This instrument. So this is the trim. The interesting thing is this shows even if you are using the stick. It's not only for trim, it's the actual like position of the stabilizer. So if you're using the stick, that moves, but at the same time if you're trimming, that also moves. So trimming down, that shows like that, right? Very slowly. That's the center, the neutral position. And if I trim up, oh, trimming up doesn't work. Oh, there it is. Okay, it does work. There it is. Very, very slowly. Okay. And then if I maybe, for example, set like that, I pull it up to this 5 position and then I trim up. Does it work? It still works. Okay, it works. But very, very slow. Okay. I see. So you can really do some intense trimming in there. Nice. Okay. Interesting. We'll have to test that again for the next flight. They made a change to the trim as it was moving too fast. Oh, interesting. Oh yes, that's a good point actually, Craig. There is actually an update coming out for this plane. I don't think it's out yet. I'm looking forward to it because it's going to add a lot more stuff in there. Drop tanks and lots of bug fixes. It's going to make it even an even better plane. And I think they're planning on releasing the update this week. Hey Barry, you made it. How are things? Busy at work? Glad you could join. Since the last update they slowed it down. I'm surely liking the plane. Yeah. It's the first jet I've flown in. Granted, it's a trainer and it's a perfect one for me. Alright, let's see. Let's go after landing. Pitot heat, anti-skid also turns off. Hydraulic gauges. Check pressure. Yeah, we're good. Flaps up. Yes. Landing lights. Anti-collision lights. And then we turn off those things. Now we're good. We're good. The max speed. Let's go and check if we can find that here in the manual. Go and park up here and have a look at the manual. Oh, you mean the trims in general? Yeah, yes. Because the trims were too much, I think, after Sim Update 5. So they went and got it back to normal again. Managed to get it working. Nice. Congrats. I don't think I've ever tried Salty 747 before. Look at how much fuel we've chugged there. How much fuel we have left. None on the center tanks. Left and right. Ah, goodness. That's intense, huh? Let's go and check the max speed. Show you the PDF. Let's go and see if we can find it. Hawk T1A Advanced Trainer. Let's see. Table of contents. Aircraft specifications. Maybe that is where we can find it. Wingspan, wing area. Rolls-Royce Turbo Mecha. Mark 151 twin shaft turbofan. 23.1 kilonewtons was it. Performance, there we go. Maximum level speed at 11,000 feet, 560 knots or 645 miles per hour. Is that fast enough? For a trainer maybe? Maximum rate of climb at sea level, oh my goodness, 9,300 feet per minute. Service ceiling is 48,000 feet. Range is 1,310. Can you really reach 1,310 nautical miles here in this kind of plane? But because we've traveled like less than 200 miles and I've already burned up so much fuel. Maybe you'd need the extra tank there. Because this one, for example, if you look at the fuel tanks, so it has different kinds, right? On the wing, on the fuselage. But there is actually this external tank right here, which is not yet in this version, but it's coming soon this week in that update that's coming up. I think they call it drop tanks or something like that, but it adds tanks to the pylons. So I believe that's something like adding some fuel tanks here, maybe. Yeah, some additional fuel tanks which get automatically transferred when it's needed, which is quite nice. Oh, sorry, you didn't see it, did you? Because of the PDF, this one. So it's yeah, somewhere here on the wings. So that should allow us greater range. No worries, Barry. Thanks for joining. Good luck with the work. We change parts here for the stream footage.